Have you ever played the game Which Hand? So you have the power to choose which hand.
It's a great day, I'm feeling good. Oh, the possibilities of what I could, oh, do with the world.
I know that game is more of a game of chance, unless you know the person real well. And if they're slided to one hand or the other all the time, then you might have won $100. But what I wanted to talk about today is the power of choice. In Exodus, I want to read something real quick. Exodus 30:19. I call on heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have presented you with life and death, the blessings and the curse. Therefore, choose life so that you will live, you and your descendants. This statement is at the end of when God presents, he has half of, or maybe it's a third of all Israel stand on one mountain, then he has the others stand on another mountain, and I guess the Kohen or the Levites are in the middle, and he says, you are the blessings, you are the curses, and they have him repeat this whole situation. Then he gives us the opportunity to choose. And he says, please choose life. Choose life. Choose the blessings. Here's how. Here's the game plan. Here's the blueprint for you to do this. As entrepreneurs, we're faced with choices every single day. And a lot of times, it's choosing between something that's good and something that's great. We have to have the ability or the discernment to be able to know, okay, which is going to be the best for your business. Oftentimes, the choice that we have to make tends to be the harder one for our flesh to do. So if you can boil it down, go through from good to great, it's going to be something that's going to probably stretch you a little bit, maybe refine your character just a little bit more. Coming up to Passover, Pesach, and it's a great story that will remind you of doing something that didn't seem to be correct in, at hand, but if they could have backed up and saw the whole picture, they would see the outcome of it. It's a fantastic story. Go read it for yourselves. The Israelites had been saying, God save us from, being slaves, take us out of that, which in my mind is being an employee. That's a slave mindset. Not that you're a slave and that you're a horrible person if you're an employee. There's a place for that and there's a time for that. Ecclesiastes tells us there's a time for certain seasons. But at this time, the Israelites were saying, save us from being slaves. Well, the choices were, okay, here's what you got to do. And Moses went in, and it ended up causing a little more friction. That's what happens when you want to follow God's commands. The world, Egypt, will tend to, try to break you down. Try to get you to default back to a slave mentality. And if you'll read throughout the stories, the 10 plagues that they had to go through, those that were in God's commandments, they didn't see the boils and the flies and the darkness and the hailstones and all the stuff that came upon, but those that weren't, they got to go through those problems. So the choices that we get to make seemingly are harder in the, at right now, but if we can look into the future, however limited that future foresight is, it always benefits those that obey God's commands. So as entrepreneurs, we need to sit back, be able to discern what is actually happening, and not look at just a bottom line dollar or a quick transaction or something that's going to benefit us short term, but that we need to look at it in something that is broad spectrum and then bring it down in and where it makes sense for you as a business owner and likewise as those that you're providing a product or service for. So today you get to choose. So be wise about it. Go to God, pray, and discern from good to great. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. This is Troy with Leading the Pack. If you would, give me that thumbs up and subscribe. Love for you guys to be a part of this community. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think, what you guys are working through. And if there's anything that you guys would love for me to cover, let me know. Until then, guys, remember, we are always going up. Therefore, choose life so that you will live, you and your descendants. That sounded weird. So that you, wait a minute.